Poached egg on toast with wild mushrooms. There's an art to poaching the most perfect egg. The most important thing is that water needs to be a gentle rolling boil. Now, mushrooms need help. 30% of a mushroom is water, so get the pan on and get it piping hot. I like to fry my mushrooms in some bacon. When you render the fat down in the bacon, that flavour across the mushrooms is extraordinary. So, like always, 90% of the battle is in getting organised. Get your water up to the boil, get your toaster warm, get your pan on, and get everything around you so as you're not hunting for anything. So everything's in eye shot, from left to right, from the eggs, the seasoning, to the touch of vinegar, to the mushrooms, and then your bacon. First off, get the pan nice and hot, in with your bacon. Now, bacon in. Two things here with the bacon. A, we get to render the fat down, and B, it's slightly salty, so it automatically seasons your mushrooms. It's a great advantage. Get that bacon nice and crispy. And sometimes I like to use a smoked bacon with the mushrooms. So I've got a naturally cured bacon. Smoked bacon, equally, is so much more sort of fragrant, especially across those mushrooms. Wild mushrooms this time of year are beautiful. From the most amazing pleurots, trompettes, girolles, and even the best oyster mushrooms, but they need help. 30% of a mushroom is water, so it needs that high intensity. Once we've got colour on the bacon, add your mushrooms straight in. Now, keep that heat nice and high. And the secret here now is to make sure that we literally saute those mushrooms and get some colour on there. A touch of salt and a touch of pepper. Mushrooms with eggs on toast, delicious, really delicious. The secret is to make sure we get some really nice colour onto those mushrooms. I've started off in the bacon fat. Once I've coloured the mushrooms, I'm going to finish it with a touch of butter. Now, toast. What's the perfect toast for a chef? It has to be brioche, because brioche is so much more richer. It's packed with butter, but the flavour toasted is extraordinary. Also, think of that richness about the eggs, the yolk bursting over those mushrooms. Mind-blowing. Now, brioche in. Toast. Nice. Mushrooms, you can hear that noise. That's not the fat, that's the water coming out of the mushrooms. Really important. But we get rid of that horrible, watery flavour a mushroom can bring. Now, look at that colour there. That's where I need to now add just a touch of butter. So that starts to caramelise them beautifully. Gives it that wonderful flavour, that nice beurre noisette. Look at the mushrooms. Mushrooms are beautifully done. I'm going to drain them off in a minute. Check my toast. Now, mushrooms need to be drained, okay? Get rid of that excess fat. Some kitchen paper. Out, on. Nothing worse than cooking these mushrooms beautifully and then serving them greasy. Paper, mushrooms out, and literally drain off all that fat so you've got that beautiful fried deliciousness in those mushrooms. Sat nice and crispy. That gives your poached egg some really nice texture. Beautiful colour on those mushrooms. Smell is incredible. Now, toast, egg and water. Out with the brioche. Now, get everything set up, because the last thing you do is poach the egg. You don't poach the egg first and then start frying your mushrooms. Take that beautiful slice of brioche and just run it inside that pan for 30 seconds. Get that flavour of those mushrooms in. Sit that back on top, and then, very carefully, add your mushrooms on top of your toast. Now we've got that flavour from the bacon, the mushrooms, the butter, and the crispiness and the texture is incredible. So, growing up as a kid, mushrooms didn't really excite me. But then when I started living in France, seeing the different flavours and textures across the season is quite mind-blowing. Beautiful ceps, mushroom powder, dried mushrooms, morels, chanterelles, girolles. It was just incredible to see such an amazing array of mushrooms that were seasonal. Now, once you're ready, mushrooms on toast. Now for the most important part, the poached egg. Water, gently boiling. Lightly season that water, and then the vinegar. The vinegar helps to strengthen the egg white and enrobes that white around the yolk. Gently stir the water just until you've got momentum in the pan. Take your egg, very carefully crack it into the bowl, and in a bowl allows you to lower it into the water gently. So, in and lower it in, and let it go. And what happens now is the egg white starts to wrap around the egg yolk and encases this beautiful poached egg that makes it look almost like a ball of mozzarella. Keep the water gently rolling, a gentle soft boil, and then just turn it down. We still poach our eggs to order in restaurants. If you're doing this at home, you can poach these in advance and drop them in to lightly seasoned water for about 60 seconds to reheat. But for me, poaching an egg it's about finesse, understanding, and I don't like cooking egg yolks twice, so we drop it into that water, gently rolling. Mushrooms ready. Before the egg comes out, a piece of tissue paper that drains off excess water. You can't get all that flavour in the mushrooms and then put it on a soggy egg, so make sure that you drain off the egg. Remember, mushrooms are crispy, toast is just nice and crispy, and I want that egg yolk literally oozing out all over my mushrooms. Now, I'm gonna lift it up, I'm gonna check to see if it's cooked. If it stays nice and firm in my spoon, it's cooked. If it starts to wobble, put it back in the water for another 10 seconds. And, look, 10 more seconds. When it starts to lapse and fall through the spoon, you know it's undercooked. So literally 10 seconds will make a big difference. Set it beautifully. Now, come underneath with a spoon, gently turn that over, and almost presentation side up. And look, there, turn the spoon left, turn it right, and then very carefully bring it out onto your tissue paper. Lightly season the egg here, salt and pepper. And then look, I'm just gonna get some of those juices from the mushrooms over my egg. And then very carefully use the back of the spoon, use the paper, and lift that up nicely, very carefully. And look, sit that on top of your mushrooms. And that is how to poach an egg. Now, this is where the poached egg goes to a completely different level. Mushrooms crispy, yolk is gonna cascade over my mushrooms and give it that incredible glaze beyond belief. And that is a poached egg to die for.